some of the tools that I use as a Forex robot trader. Some of them are free and some of them are paid. And these are not recommendations because you might be able to find free equivalents online. The default MT4 and MT5 order window tool is pretty crap. It doesn't really tell you margin, pips. So I use a tool called the Expert Forex Trader panel, and it's from Expert Forex. This tool costs $98 and I use it to help me calculate margin. For example, here I've got an FTMO swing account open and the margin right now is pretty low at 1-30. So if I was to place a US CAD trade with a 100 pips stop loss and 100 pips take profit, the margin required would be about $45 and the lot size is 13.55 if I was aiming for a 10% take profit. Here's another example of the expert advisor in action. Let's say I wanted to trade gold and I wanted to aim for 10% of the account balance, which is about $10,000 of our 100K account. How much margin would I need? So according to this, I will need $229,000 in margin, but this is only a 100K account. So I know I cannot trade with 100 pips. So I might have to go up to 400 pips. So now on a 100K account, I know I can trade with 400 pips top loss and take profit based on a 10% risk, but not on a 100 pip stop loss. The next tool I use is the Currency Selector Forex Robot, and this one is also from Expert Forex. However, I didn't actually pay for this even though it is a $40 tool because I have bought other expert advisors from Expert Forex and this one comes free. I mainly use this one to monitor the spread on different brokers and do a comparison. Here on my screen, you can see I've got Think Markets on one account and Purple Trading on one account. And I'm comparing and monitoring the spreads to see which one is the best broker when I pick the prop firm. And I will leave it running for a few hours so I understand what the maximum pip is and what the average pip is. The only other function I really use is the swap and margin function. So you can see here for each symbol, it will tell me exactly how much margin I have so I can understand should I be trading the pound Swiss franc, which has $600 worth of margin requirements versus the Aussie CAD, which only has $331 in a margin when you place a one lot trade. The Account Protector is a totally free expert advisor that I wrote for both MT4 and MT5, and I have distributed and shared it freely along with the code I will post a link to this in the description below. And this is a typical MT4 terminal that I have. I normally have the Expert Advisor, the FX Blue Publisher, and on the third chart I'll have the Account Protector. And notice here that I've got it set to $300 in maximum floating drawdown. So if at any time any open trades exceeds $300, the Account Protector will kick in and close all trades and close all the other expert advisors. And that is exactly what happened in my public Walker account. Here it is on the 1st of November 2023, $300 in a drawdown was reached and the EA went in and closed all the trades, which is why you see this sharp drop down here. And below in the historic floating profit and loss, you'll see a sharp spike down at about $300. If I am backtesting on MT4, then I will use eareview.net. The software makes it really easy to test using tick data from Desktop, and it adds into your MT4 terminal this tiny little button here. You just click Use Tick Data. And downloading data for all time frames for a whole bunch of different currencies is super easy. Once you've got it set it up, to refresh it, I just click this download button in the top right here and it will update every single currency for me that I've previously selected that needs updating, and it converts it to all the right required format in all different time frames. I also own TickStory, which is another software that will download Desktop tick data for you, but I found that this one to be quite clunky and it's not as easy to use as eareview.net because it is a separate app that downloads ticks data, but then you have to run scripts to convert everything into the right format, and even after I ran the scripts, I was still getting errors in my MT4 terminal about mismatched data bars. So if you do plan on using MT4 Backtester, I do recommend eareview.net to get 99% modeling quality tick data. But if you have a choice between MT4 and MT5, instead always go for the MT5 version. Only use MT4 if the expert advisor that you're using does not have an MT5 version. I have a lot of robots that I am testing, and I don't want to pay an arm and a leg for so many VPSs, so I also have 3 PCs at home dedicated to testing, and these are both mini PCs. Despite the fact that they are so small, they can be quite powerful. This one here has 8 gigs of RAM, and you can see the CPU is fairly low. My second mini PC also has a whole bunch of different MT4 terminals, each one with FX Blue Publisher and an expert advisor and potentially the account protector on it as well. And you can see the CPU is fairly low, between 10 to 25%. Another tool that I have is the core temperature, which monitors my PC's CPU temperature. And today is a fairly warm day of almost 100 degrees Fahrenheit or 30 degrees Celsius, but the CPU is still doing okay at about 57 degrees Celsius. To access all my mini PCs, my laptop and my main PC, I use a Chrome Remote Desktop, and this by far is the best totally free version of software that I have seen to connect remotely to desktops. I have also used AnyDesk in the past, but after a few connections, they start asking you for money, so I am not a fan of this tool. And I have also used TeamViewer in the past, but I found this one a bit clunky and sometimes it doesn't work. Out of all the tools that I've used, Google Chrome Remote Desktop is by far the best, and it's totally free. And unlike the others where you actually have to be logged in order to use AnyDesk, with this one you don't have to be logged in. As long as your PC is on, this will work. And if I'm away on holiday and I don't have my laptop, that's okay. I can still use my phone to log into my PCs. Where I live, my internet is a bit dodgy and my electricity is a bit dodgy, and we have frequent outages. So I make sure all my accounts with my real live trading funds is on a New York City service VPS. This is my first VPS, and I put all my live accounts trading real money on this one. And on my second New York City servers VPS, I have all my prop firm challenges funded phase 1 and phase 2. I try to be diversified in terms of expert advisors, strategies and currency pairs, and also VPS. So for this one, I'm using DIP Gate VPS, and that's where I've got my Darwin X accounts. I also have 2 Contabo VPSs, but I don't put any real live accounts on these because I have found them to be slightly unreliable, crashing every few months for me. FX Blue Live is my go-to tool for monitoring and managing all my expert advisors and all the tests that I run. And to access it, you go to FX Blue Live. There are 2 options where you can use the account sync, which I do not recommend. What is much better is a publisher tool, which is a download that you have to install on each of your MT4 terminals. And this is what the FX Blue window looks like when you attach it to your MT4 chart. I've got mine set to update every 5 minutes, which is the default settings. Publishing to FX Blue every 5 minutes has 2 benefits. The first benefit is that the drawdown is fairly accurate. So if I take a look at this particular expert advisor here, the banked floating profit and loss hourly, I can see there have been 2 instances of big drawdowns for this EA. So if I switch over to the floating profit and loss cash hourly chart, I can see the biggest drawdown for this EA is about $150. And the second benefit, because us as robot traders need to have multiple tests going across multiple different PCs or VPSs, we need to make sure that none of our terminals have crashed. And when you add an account to a portfolio, you get this view right here. So every day I don't need to check every single account on my VPS. I check on my phone this FX Blue portfolio, and I just eyeball straight down this last upload column. Because I update everything on a 5-minute interval, I know anything that is above 5 minutes needs to be checked to make sure I need to restart the MT4 terminal. Outside that, it takes me literally seconds to eyeball down this chart. FX Blue also has a really cool function called widgets. And what widgets are is a little bit of code that you can add to a HTML or web page so you can view at a summary glance what your portfolio is doing. And I do that for my Patreon members who get access to all the FX Blue links, not only individually so they can do their own analysis, but they also get access to a single page of all my different robots so they can compare exactly with a quick view which ones the best ones are. You can do a lot with the FX Blue widgets. This page right here is created entirely from FX Blue widgets, so I can see at a glance without needing to switch between different pages in FX Blue all the information that I need for one specific expert advisor and test that I'm running. I can see all the different currencies, the balance line, the drawdown, the stats in terms of total return, and the risk. And there's a whole bunch of other ones that I don't use. These are the 6 ones that I mainly use for my own analysis. Us robot traders need to be super organized because we have so many VPSs, PCs, MT4 terminals, and I use ClickUp to stay organized. I do use the paid version so I can get custom fields. So check out this column here, a phase. You'll see it's got custom statuses, 1 passed, 1 failed, funded in progress, and color coordinated. So I created this column myself along with the rest. I use it to track everything. Here you can see I've got a VPS and one account I've got on the New York City servers number 2. And for my first account, I did have it on DIP Gate VPS. And this is what a typical card looks like. You can see I have a lot of information here. I've got the account number, the account type, whether it's demo, a live, or if it's a prop trading account, which MT4 terminal it is, and which VPS it is. And on the right hand side, you can see I've got comments. On November the 23rd, you can see the account protector was hit with a negative 5% drawdown, and on that same day I decided to turn it off and put on another expert advisor that I had. And at the bottom you can see a few days ago I added 2 expert advisors, and I've also attached the set file that I used for this testing. I use ClickUp for everything. Here is another one where I'm tracking all my robots because some of them are licensed to specific accounts, and I track the license, the website, what strategy I'm doing. So it's really quite powerful, and I'm only using a small section of all the functionality available in ClickUp. Trading can be a lonely journey, which is why I decided to create a special Discord group called Responsible Robot Traders. And the Discord can be accessed via Patreon. In the Discord group, there are a lot of robots that are currently being tested along with their different variations, and even more in the binned section. And there are certain things I cannot say publicly in a YouTube video that are discussed in the Discord channel. I'll post links to all my tools down below. And if you want to hear more about how I personally use ClickUp, watch this video right here.